The Joe Mays and J-Raff Show is brought to you in part by Mays Sandwich Shop, serving delicious hometown favorites to the West Lawn community since 1947. You are listening to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show, bringing you the latest news and commentary on baseball.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Hockey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the
College football.
The Big Ten championship lies on a measurement.
Did he get it? No! He didn't get it! Penn State holds!
They brought back the fun, they brought back the excitement, and now they've brought back a Big Ten championship. The Penn State Nittany Lions are Big Ten champions.
And the NFL.
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! What a comeback!
Now, here are your hosts, Joe Mays and Justin Raffoff.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 233rd episode of the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mays, and sitting next to me, my co-host, Justin Raffoff.
Yeah, it's good to be back. We're getting into that time of year where, baseball's in full swing. Basketball is kind of winding down, and honestly, you could argue there hasn't been competitive basketball for a month now, but that's a different story for a different show.
And the season's not over.
No, and I don't mean that it's over. Yeah, but we shall see.
So, how badly are the Cavs going to beat the Celtics tonight, now that they're at home?
Pretty bad, especially
Isaiah Thomas is out.
Right, and to keep kind of quote-unquote keep pace. I don't mean like they're in a competition right now, but I think both teams that are vying for the finals don't want to give the other one more extra rest. Does that make sense?
Right.
Right now, the Warriors are up 3-0 on the Spurs. Looks like Kawhi may miss Game 4 as well. And the Cavs are up 2-0, and they come on right now, I believe, against the Celtics. And they're up 2-0, and they're playing their home games now. But even if both teams sweep through, they would be set up so that there's 8 days off before the finals begin.
Yeah, I saw June 1st is the first finals game.
Set in stone. So,
not a lot of competitive.
But here's the thing. Like, people will complain about that. It won't matter. If it's Cavs, Warriors... let me rephrase that. When it's Cavs Warriors for the finals, the ratings for the finals will still be through the roof.
When LeBron James wins again.
And here's the thing too. Like, everybody's complaining about the NBA, the playoffs, blowouts. The ratings are up.
Are they really? I thought they were
so.
struggling.
I think they're up slightly. Now, that may be in these rounds where you still have the star-studded teams and things like that. Right. Like, the series that didn't involve these teams may have been down overall, but yeah, you've got guys signing $200 million deals. They're not hurting for TV money. So.
No, they're not. So I want to introduce a guest we have here this evening. So, 2 weeks ago we did basketball talk.
You want to, or you feel like we need to?
We did basketball talk with Dallas Wood, which was a lot of fun because we haven't done basketball.
Awesome. So, like, that was when I met, quote unquote, Dallas. So, like, since then I've been following on Twitter, and there's been some fun exchanges.
Back and forth,
it's fun.
right? Yeah.
I say fun because usually he and I are on the same page, which it makes it a lot more fun. So it's not just you and I going back and forth now, because I feel like he would agree with a lot of the things I say.
So here we are 2 weeks later, and we have another guest, this time in the studio with us. It is the 2017 Joe Mays and J.R. Show Bracket Challenge Tournament Champion, and it's not the first time she's won.
No.
She won early on when we started this, and we didn't offer the shirt and the chance to appear on the show. So last year we made up for that and had her on the show to talk about a topic that we're not going to discuss.
Yes.
It's
We
been
talked
done.
Stuff, yeah.
But now
We've
she's
moved
back
on.
here with us. So I'd like to introduce once again my sister, Corinne Dutt.
Hi.
So she's joining us again this evening to talk about a topic that I actually enjoy and we're going to have fun talking about, and that's more movies. But we're not doing anything like our movie madness we did a couple months ago. We're talking specifically this time sports movies. And much like our movie madness, this isn't best. I want to get that out of the way right away, because people right away, when you hear people talking about lists of things, everyone always thinks you're talking about the best. We're not talking about the best. We're talking about our favorite. No. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt you would go down your list and be like, these are the best sports movies. Because comparing the 3 lists that we've done,
honestly,
there
best
are a
ones,
lot missing.
The best ones a number of the best ones might not even be on my list, because I think we went to 10 or whatever. But,
yeah.
There were a number that I didn't put on the list that I think are better movies, but like, I don't want to say they're not my favorites because I really like them. I
enjoy them enough
and
and not funny enough,
right.
Or maybe they're too relatable. So like it's a good movie, but you're like, I can't rewatch that.
Yeah.
So all of our lists are favorite lists. They're not the best sports movies. I mean, you might consider some of them on your list as being the best out there, but there's plenty that have gotten widespread critical acclaim, not on our list. So I just want to get that out there right now. And you mentioned it. We're doing top 10. And when I sat down to do this afternoon, I immediately rattled off 20.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I said to you. I was like, this is a huge honorable mention, like, pool for me, too, because they're movies that I just didn't get in a list of 10, but it's really kind of like 1A, 1B, 1C. For a lot of them, like, there's a lot of these movies that I really enjoy.
Right. So I started with 20. I could get down to 15, and then once I got to 15, it was tough for me to remove the next 5.
So
to get to
it's
10.
funny, in the movie bracket thing a couple months ago, we kept saying, like, what are the movies that, like, if it's on, I will always watch it? Well, it's partly my personality, partly the movies, but, like, this list, like, this particular list, all of them.
Yeah.
Each of these movies that I picked are ones that, like, if I see it's on, I'm turning it on and I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I completely agree. So before we jump into Corinne's list, why don't we get her opinion on the things that we just said? Corinne, this list is your favorites. Not necessarily ones that you think are the best, but these are the ones that you really enjoy to watch.
Yes. And they also base on hottest actors in the movies,
Shocking.
too. So
Shocking.
we'll talk about some hot actors like before.
Okay. Interesting, because a lot of the ones you picked are from a long time ago, so these people are quite young. You might be drifting into an area that the police might want to talk to you. I'm just saying. So you actually sent me an edited list about a week ago. You had done a list, and then you sent an edited list. Was it tough for you to narrow it down to 10?
No.
It wasn't?
No.
So there's like 11 or 12, and you just picked 10?
Yeah.
Was there any that you left off that you wish you could have kept on?
No.
No? These are the 10?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with Justin and me, and I'm going to pull it up here for the listeners to see. And are all on the screen here now, but mine and Justin's are also up with our own cameras here. So I'll read mine first, and we're going to go 10 to 1, because that's what we're going to do with Corinne's here in a second. So my top 10, again, from 10 to 1, was Varsity Blues, Miracle, The Longest Yard, the remake, the more recent one, The Greatest Game Ever Played, Happy Gilmore, Cool Runnings, Remember the Titans, Little Giants, Major League, and The Mighty Ducks. Now,
there you go.
I take that statement back.
You forgot some.
Yeah, I know. Just you running through your list, I forgot some of those.
Now, my 10, like I said, I could do 20 like immediately. And to cut it down to 15 was tough, and that 15 to 10 was even tougher. And what I did, and I cheated a little, if Corinne mentioned them, I know I duplicated a few, but there were a couple that I left off, mostly because they're on Corinne's list. And
right,
I was like,
so
well,
you know they're already going to get mentioned. Right.
Now, obviously, there are a couple on here, 2 or 3 maybe, that she also has on her list, but I was like, I can't leave them off, because they're some of my all-time favorite movies, not just sports-related. So that's the 10 I came up with here. Again, like any movie classification, we probably could do 20, 25, or 30 and have a really worthwhile list. But that's mine. So Varsity Blues, Miracle, The Longest Yard, the more recent one, The Greatest Game Ever Played, Happy Gilmore, Cool Runnings, Remember the Titans, Little Giants, Major League, and The Mighty Ducks. So Justin, why don't you hit us with yours?
All right, so my list, again, through the list there'll be a few repeats, but I know some of these are different as well. So I started with Cool Runnings at 10, then Friday Night Lights, The Blind Side, Angels in the Outfield, The Rookie, Miracle, Invincible, Remember the Titans, and then number 2 I put Hoosiers, and number 1 The Sandlot. So I know Sandlot was a big one for me in the movie bracket challenge. Hoosiers, actually a number of those we talked about, but Sandlot we talked a little bit more about. But that is definitely, if I have to go, that's probably my favorite, and that's obviously why it got number 1.
Yeah, your list actually also helped me as well, because on my short list was Friday Night Lights, The Blind Side, Angels in the Outfield, and The Sandlot. We're all on my list of 20.
Sandlot is that's up there with my favorite all-time movies, not just sports movies. But it shouldn't be any surprise that sports movies, I really like sports movies,
right,
since I really like sports in general.
Yeah, well, and growing up with my dad and I, Corinne obviously has been exposed to many sports movies,
right,
and she was able to come up with a list of sports movies. She claims that it's only 10, and that's it. But I think listening to us now...
Until you named 2
right,
movies, and then she's like,
oh yeah, well, I forgot about that.
I
I
was
forgot.
so mad I didn't put Mighty Ducks on that list.
Yeah, I was surprised I didn't see it from you or Justin. I was like, that's...
I just didn't think of it.
Yeah, and again, these are very flexible,
Right.
You could switch the order around, but growing up, The Mighty Ducks was one of my all-time favorite movies. And it just was so cool. I was playing hockey. It was about the same time.
So,
me and Charlie Conway were the same age.
So The Greatest Game Ever Played. What?
That's the golf movie with Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, then I think
That's our dad's
my dad had that in a bracket challenge.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen it. I don't think I have.
It's good. It's good. I mean, I know you hear Shia LaBeouf, and that's just people get
that doesn't
turned
bother
off.
me.
But when he was younger and doing
the
the
crazier
Disney
the
movies,
actor, the better.
True. That is true. That is how it works, isn't it? It's a really good movie. Right. It's about golf, and it's about old time golf.
Right.
So
right. I know I've seen parts of it. I don't know that I've. I don't know. That
it's
I've
really
seen the whole
good.
thing.
It's really entertaining. It's a lot of fun to watch.
And so, so here you go.
He's also crazy.
Well, there's probably a correlation there as well.
True.
But so I've never seen Major League the whole way through.
Oh,
I know.
You haven't seen Major League all the way through?
No.
Oh, wow. Would you see Dallas and I do? We were remaking the movie at Gifts.
Yes, I did. And then I sit kind of laughing to belong, but I don't really. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to get crushed for that too because, just because that's one of those.
So there's a few people watching now leaving some comments for us. Your buddy Mark says The Replacements and Hardball.
See, okay. So I feel like The Replacements is one of the most overrated sports movies. A lot of people like it. First time I saw it, I was just like, it was okay. It was okay. But
so let's see who else. Megan is chipping in here, commenting on some of mine: Little Giants and Mighty Ducks, Cool Runnings. Megan does say though that her movies are the best. So it's one and the same.
Well, honestly, without seeing a list, I can't really disagree.
Right? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Throw your list out there in the comments. We'll talk about them and we'll judge you. That's fine. That's what this show's about.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, before we move on, though, you said you had a lot of just missed the cuss or honorable mentions.
Right. So these are some of more maybe the critical acclaimed ones or the more classic ones. So The Natural is a really good movie. It is a long
Robert
movie.
Redford.
Yeah. It's a really good movie, really long movie, but it's really good. It's another baseball movie. Another long movie that I really like, not quite as long, I don't think, is Field of Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
That one came to my mind. I was on my short list.
Mighty Ducks is there. I see some of the ones that are on your list, like Varsity Blues, Happy Gilmore. That was a funny one that I just didn't think of. But, I feel like you could run through. Rudy would be on there. Just a lot of sports movies that most sports movies that I've seen, I like.
Right.
Maybe not make anywhere close to making the list, but I would, I find them entertaining and would watch again. Have you ever seen Slapshot?
I've seen part of it. I
Okay.
know it's like a huge cult classic.
Right. Yeah. Like it's funny. Like it's entertaining.
Well, it's based in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to one of our listeners there too. I think I might have watched it with him. I'm not exactly sure though. It could have been with someone else, but.
So Justin, if you like sports movies, do you like sports TV shows like One Tree Hill that's based on sports?
I honestly couldn't have told you that One Tree Hill is about basketball because I've never seen it.
Okay,
So
let's
I'm
move
gonna
away
go with
from
no.
One Tree Hill. Yeah, no One Tree Hill. So a couple of ones that I had to leave off, unfortunately. I mentioned a few as well. Basically, your 9, 8, 7, and 1 for sure that weren't on my list, but I would love to. That was Friday Night Lights, The Blind Side, Angels in the Outfield, The Sandlot, Caddyshack. I really
never seen
love
it.
Oh, it's hilarious. You should watch it. I kind of went by quotability.
Okay.
Caddyshack is
Right,
very quotable.
Yes.
Another Adam Sandler one. I have 2 in my top 10, but I left off The Waterboy.
Oh,
The Waterboy, growing up, that was a movie that I just found absolutely hilarious. Again, quotability very high as well.
So you go Longest Yard, the new one.
I haven't seen the original. So,
well, neither have
but
I. I've
I
seen the
enjoy
newer one.
watching
Right,
the remake.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
people like everyone's always like the remake is never as good as the original. Well, I haven't seen the original, and I really like this one. Like,
So
I just
why would
do.
you even do
So,
it?
I would love to see the original one.
You know what's another good one that I just thought of? I think the name is it Invictus? Is that the Matt
Yes.
Damon one with
That-
the
yep.
South African rugby
with
team?
about Nelson Mandela, right?
Yeah, that's a really good movie. That's a good one too.
Well, we didn't mention any of the Rocky movies.
Right.
Bull Durham.
Never seen it.
You said Field of Dreams. Just
Coach
trying to
Carter.
think. What's that?
Coach Carter.
Coach Carter
Haven't
is
seen
another
it.
good one. You've never seen Coach
You never saw
Carter?
Coach Carter?
Okay.
I haven't seen a lot of movies. Like this came up a lot in the movie bracket.
Yeah, I'm
challenge,
just
too.
trying to think of.
there we
Megan
go.
says Draft Day. I actually had that on my
Right.
top 20, and I cut that out. I went and saw that with my dad in the theaters. Because I've always been a huge draft fan. It was interesting to see what they did with Cleveland. It's kind of
it got a
out
lot
there.
of play this year though because Cleveland had the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
in the
Megan
draft.
was bored. Isaac liked it. That doesn't surprise me. I don't think. I don't think too many women would enjoy Draft Day. Like you have to be a huge football fan, and then also like the draft because it's not about football. Like you could be a football fan but have no interest in the draft.
Right.
If you have no interest in the draft and the way the front office works, you're not going to like Draft Day. My Uncle Rich says he loves The Replacements. We're going to talk about that one a little bit later. Megan mentioned
shocking
Rudy.
that Rich Mays likes something that I don't.
Yeah, really shocking. So I
Involving sports even too. Like that pretty much sums up not all the time. Occasionally Rich and I'll agree with that.
Raging Bull. A League of
Oh.
Their Own.
There we
Very,
go.
very
That's a good
good. You mentioned The Natural.
Jerry Maguire.
Maguire didn't make the list, but also consider $1 Million Baby. Tin
Haven't
Cup.
seen it.
I haven't seen that, but that one came up a lot. One I left off and cut near the end was Any Given Sunday. Great football
White Men
movie.
Can't Jump is a good one. That's a good movie.
Cinderella
Oh, man.
Man. Brian's Song. The Pride of the Yankees.
Moneyball.
And
Is it
another
another good
one
one?
cut late. Space Jam.
Yes.
Moneyball also cut late for me. So, there's a lot out there that, we're doing top 10. There's going to be ones left off. But like you mentioned, there's a lot that are honorable mention just missed the cut. So, any more that you can think of, Corinne, before we start your list?
Nope.
All right. My Uncle Rich says 8 Men Out.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar
I
with
think
that
that's
one.
Chicago. Well, I think it's the Black Sox scandal.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. So, that's enough from me and Justin. We're not here to talk about our list, but there they are for everyone to see. Now we're going to move on to Corinne's top 10, and we're going to start at 10 and work our way to 1. We'll talk about each movie a little bit as it goes. If they don't have any hot guys in it, well, it probably isn't on her list, but she won't have much to say, so we're going to have to pick up the slack here. So, all right, we're just going to start again with Corinne's number 10. And Corinne, why don't you tell us what your number 10 is?
My number 10 is Varsity Blues.
came up on my list. I know
Yeah,
you
it
mentioned
didn't come up on my list, but I like that movie. It was a good movie.
It was good. And
What-
speaking of hot guys,
I knew that one
Scott
was
Kane, who's also in Hawaii Five-0, is one of my favorite.
I think it's Con.
Con? Oh, okay, Scott Con.
Wait,
Is that the guy who plays Billy Bob?
no.
Oh.
Well, I didn't know.
And
He passed away. May he rest.
Did
in
he?
Paul Walker.
Yeah,
I
a
didn't
couple
know
years
that.
ago.
Paul Walker is another
Also, may
reason.
he rest in peace.
So the guys in there are really good to look at, and that movie was really popular when I was in like high school and junior high.
Yeah, it definitely was, and that's
Great
one of the-
soundtrack on that,
Oh,
on that
absolutely.
one, too.
Well, it's one of the reasons that I really liked it because it came out when I was playing freshman football. So like I was going up to high school football the next year. It was, of course, like it's incredibly raunchy. Like if you don't like movies that are in poor taste, you're not gonna like this movie. Like this is not a feel good sports movie. Like of course it has a feel good ending, but there's moments in there. Swearing and nudity among them that it's not going to be for everyone. But when when you're a teen and if you're an athlete, like you're just gonna laugh all the time.
Yeah.
I know my dad also he laughs all at he will laugh forever at this movie. It's definitely one. It's definitely one that he enjoys as well. All right. Anything else to say about Corinne's number 10, Varsity Blues?
No.
All right. Then we will move on to your number 9. What is it?
Rudy.
All right, so that one is mentioned in the chat. We mentioned it. It's when someone asks you to quickly name the best, greatest, most favorite sports movie, often you're going to hear Rudy.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a football movie. It focuses on Notre Dame, and it stars Sean Astin. It came out in 1993 and is one of the true feel-good sports movies. It's a no-name walk-on who gets to play in his final game at Notre Dame. He faces a lot of
offsides.
adversity throughout. Rudy was offsides, right? Yes, that movement. But yeah,
No, but it is a great movie. So honestly, so far 2 for 2 movies that made Corinne's list that also very much entertained me. So I can't really complain about that.
Megan chimes in on Corinne's choice of picking hot guys in movies, and Megan agrees. She says if they want girls to watch a sports movie, of course they need to cast nice-looking
Right.
guys.
So
Megan.
Megan also mentioned something about Brian's song. Is that the
Well, there was an original, and then there was a remake. The original was
Okay.
made for TV. I think actually
Yeah.
the remake was
Yeah.
as well. But it is a sad movie. Actually, I believe, to bring it all around, Scott Conn, who was in Varsity Blues and now
Right.
stars in Hawaii Five-0, he is the son of James Conn,
yes.
famous actor, and one of the films that he did, I believe, was Brian's Song, I think. I don't know when it was, though. I could be completely wrong and making that up. Well, it was a TV movie. So, yeah, there it is. 1971. He played Brian Piccolo in the original Brian Song
Right.
movie. It was remade in 2001 with Mekhi Phifer playing Gale Sayers. So, yeah, Brian's Song is one for sure. I thought we had mentioned that. I meant to mention it. But it's...
I saw another sports movie there under James Caan was The Program. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever seen that. That's kind of crazy. But
All right. So, Rudy, a sports classic,
yeah.
one mentioned all the time, is on Corinne's list at number 9. All right, Corinne, what's up next?
Radio.
All right. Another feel-good sports movie, Radio. No shortfall of key actors. It came out in 2003 and starred Cuba Gooding Jr., Ed Harris, and Esapatha Murkison, who is known for her role on Law and Order. And Ed Harris, plenty of films, but one that ties into our movie madness, Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Great role in that. Shows up here. And
Also
Cuba
the
Gooding
National
Jr. with
Treasure
the lead.
movies.
Yep. Ed Harris was in National Treasure 2
Yeah.
in Movie Madness as well. So, Corinne, what is it about Radio that you enjoy so much?
It makes you feel good watching it, that there's still nice people out there to help somebody, and it's a good there's a good ending to it and a good storyline.
That's what we like to see.
I actually haven't seen Radio.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
I haven't seen it either. No.
Really?
Yeah.
I told you, like,
I mean, I know it's a good.
when I say
movie.
I haven't seen a movie, I think the shock
What
is
the heck do
pretty
you
much.
and Jamie do on date nights before you had?
Clearly, you
before
need to
had
watch Radio.
Austin?
See, I don't watch a lot of movies in the sense that I usually don't have the attention span to watch a whole movie. Like that's honestly a big part of it.
So, Radio is number 8. Anything else to say about Radio before we move on?
No.
All right, then up next at number 7 is
Replacements.
The Replacements.
Justin's favorite.
Yeah.
Mentioned in the chat already, mentioned by Justin.
Not awful. It's just I think
My favorite part of
it's
this
not that
movie
great.
is when they're dancing and then they get in the bar fight and then they go to jail.
Well, there you have it. That's the key. No,
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This movie, we actually saw this in the theaters. Me, Corinne, my dad. I don't know if we had guests with us or not, but sitting in the theater, there were fellow students of my grade in there, cracking up and making jokes before the movie even started. So it was going to be a long time. Was Uncle Dennis or someone there
Uncle
with
Dennis
us?
was there, yeah.
And of course,
Matt, I think.
my dad and my uncle just laughing so loud that like people would turn around and look at us and want to throw stuff at us. That's our memories from watching The Replacements. But there are a lot of funny instances of The Replacements. It came out in 2000 and stars Keanu Reeves, Gene Hackman, Jon Favreau, and Orlando Jones are some of the big names from it. Jon Favreau played the linebacker, kind of crazy guy. And I think as a nod to his friendship, his character's name was Bateman, for Jason Bateman, and Gene Hackman's obviously been in a ton of movies. He comes up on your list for Hoosiers.
Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves, there's actually people all the time when something comes up about quarterbacks, needing quarterbacks, they're always like, well, Falco's available. And that was Keanu's character in The Replacements. And, another one of those comedic sports movies. I enjoyed this. This was on my list of 20 to consider. It did make the cut in the top 10, but I knew we'd be talking about it. And clearly it's not just Corinne that likes it, as it was mentioned in the chat a couple times. So, all right. So, number 7, The Replacements. Number 6 is going to be
Little Giants.
This was one that I didn't think of. Like, that is a really good one. I really like this one.
My dad would always watch this movie.
Yeah, well...
See, I like it because they beat the Cowboys.
So, but you're watching the Giants do it. It's the Cowboys. So
an
it doesn't
enemy of
matter,
an enemy, right?
So, before we move on to Little Giants, our dad has been texting in as we go through the show, and he mentions about the Little Giants. His favorite is when the one overweight lineman throws up in the middle of the huddle, and they all walk away in a huddle. You have to see it. I wish I had a clip of it. It's very, very funny to see.
My favorite quote is when they're like, "What's that cheerleader doing with the helmet?" And the guy's like, "That's no cheerleader. That's my niece Becky, and she's pissed."
Oh, we're on Little Giants now because I was just talking Replacements.
Oh, I'm talking Little Giants.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I was
actually,
like, I don't remember that at all from The Replacements. I gotcha.
So I'm gonna play this here now and I pulled a few clips. I missed the one for Varsity Blues. We're gonna have to go back to that. So here's the one for Little Giants.
Hey guys, look! 2nd and 9. The game to yard! We got 1 yard.
So we gained a yard. That's Little Giants, classic movie. Made my list. We rewatched this movie over and over and over again. Something about Rick Moranis in my household because Ghostbusters is my favorite movie. Corinne adored Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when she was younger, and Little Giants is one of our favorite movies. Not just me and Corinne, but also my dad.
Did Corinne really like? They used to have that area at
Disney World,
MGM at the time, and
Disney MGM Studios.
Yeah.
Me, Aaron Hill, you and Greg.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, we have pictures hanging out in the Honey, I Shrunk the World play set. So yeah, Little Giants. Again, quotability. Like, there's so many things in Little Giants. Corinne mentioned the one about Ed O'Neill referencing his niece wearing her skirt but putting on the football pads and coming out to kick some butt. So Little Giants came out in 1994. Obviously, Rick Moranis, Ed O'Neill, I mentioned, Shauna Waldron, and the one that Corinne wants me to mention, Devon Sawa.
Yes.
Again, he was like 12 in this, so
definitely
kind of
mention
creepy.
him. He's
Kinda
like my
creepy.
age.
You know what? One of the things I love about this movie is that, and I think Joey and I have talked about this before, they use actual like teams, like it's the
Right.
Little
Oh, yeah,
Giants
yeah, yeah.
and the Cowboys, and they use like the
Yep.
logos and the colors and all that stuff. I love when sports movies use actual
Yep.
sports teams. I understand it's not always feasible, but in this case, like I love that. That's just a little thing, but I really like that.
Yeah, it's great. And one of the funniest and underrated aspects of the movie is during the game, the announcer. The guy who's announcing
Yeah.
the game is hilarious.
See, I haven't seen Little Giants for a long
Oh,
time.
it's,
Like I feel like I
it's
need to
so
rewatch
good. Yeah,
it.
it's definitely. I mean, it's certainly cheesy.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
it's really really funny. I laugh all the time. And it obviously has the underdogs and the comeback, and all the outcasts becoming good all of a sudden.
Devon Sawa was actually born in 1978, so he is actually older than me, so that doesn't make me a creep.
He's nearly 40.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you compartmentalize it, you're lusting over like a 12-year-old. It's just weird. I don't know, it's just weird. But Little Giants featured some cameos from John Madden, Emmett Smith, Bruce Smith, Tim Brown, and Steve Ettman. So before we move on to number 5, I do want to go back and play the clip I have for Corinne's number 10 movie, Varsity Blues.
Listen up. I need 5 wide receivers. We're running the oop-de-oop. No tight ends, no running backs. I want 4 receivers stacked left. Tweeter, you on the right. We're going to overload their left side, force them to cover Tweeter one-on-one.
And no huddles. What? I'll call the plays from the line. Defense will never know what hit them.
All right, let's go. Come on, break it down. Let's go. 3, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Pass completed that time to Tweeter for 16, and they're going again.
On the left, on the right.
Don't know what you call this offense, but look at all those receivers. Gonzalez complete one more time, and they hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Look at all the receivers. Long pass this time, Moxon, touchdown!
All right, so that was an extended clip from Varsity Blues. Kind of harkens back to what you said. Great soundtrack from the movie.
Yeah.
And that was just towards the end of at this point, John Voight's character, the coach, has been run off, and the injured Lance Harbor is running the team with Jonathan Moxon at quarterback, throwing to Charlie Tweeter, and they're making their comeback to win whatever game it was. I can't remember if it was the end of the regular season or in the playoffs or not. But yeah, so back to number 10. Forward to number 5. Corinne, what's next?
Game plan.
So, the game plan.
Yeah, definitely haven't seen this.
Interesting choice. One I've only seen once. I'm not even sure I've seen all of it. It stars Dwayne Johnson as a pro football superstar and Kara Sedgwick. Corinne, give us a quick premise on what's going on in this one.
Well, The Rock is really good to look at, so that's the first thing. But it's so cute because he finds out he has a daughter, and then she comes to football practice with him, and all the macho football players like the little girl, and they're so like gentle with her and sweet. And then he goes and learns how to do ballet, and he ends up being in her recital, and he wears tights, and it's just so cute, and it shows that he is like a dad, and he puts her priorities first, and it's such a cute movie. They have a little bulldog.
It's one of the
so cute.
earlier The Rock movies that came out in 2007, and I believe it's the first on the list from Disney, but you're going to sense a theme here as we move along on Corinne's list, that the Disney sports movies start to make it known, and I'm getting a text from Dad with a thumbs up. My dad enjoys the game plan as well. Not sure that should be surprising to anyone.
I see that. I can definitely see your dad enjoying that movie.
All right.
Before he falls asleep.
So I don't have much to say about that because, again, I've only seen it once. I'm not even sure I've seen the entire thing. But your typical Disney sports movie, it obviously has its comedic moments, but very loosely related to sports, as he's a football player and you see the locker room, but very little sports action throughout. All right, number 4.
Remember the Titans.
All 3 of our lists.
Yeah.
Is the only one.
Incredible.
On all 3 of our lists.
Incredible movie.
Great movie. Denzel Washington at his best. Also features Will Patton, Donald Faison, who a lot of you would know from Scrubs, Wood Harris, and Ryan Hurst are the 2 main football players portraying actual members of the T.C. Williams High School football team during this time period. Then obviously this was the first screen film that anyone can remember. Hayden Panettiere also stars Kate Bosworth, Earl Poitier, who is the big lineman that everyone likes, and then one of the earliest films for Mr. Ryan Gosling. So Remember the Titans, absolutely great, an incredible story, incredible movie. Again, from T.C. Williams High School in Alexandria, Virginia. You mentioned the Varsity Blues soundtrack. I think this is the only one that can one-up it. The Remember the Titans soundtrack is amazing, and they actually feature plenty of classic songs throughout, from Creedence Clearwater Revival, Marvin Gaye, James Taylor, The Temptations, and Cat Stevens.
I think one of the interesting things here is, like, when you look at some of these movies and you talk about how, you know, they may be cheesy or they don't, I don't want to say they don't age well, but just like you watch it and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so different. Like if you watch Varsity Blues, like it's so different, you know, than like what you would think of like high school now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think because this one is in the past at the time, you know, like that movie came out 17 years ago, which was crazy when I saw Remember the Titans came out in 2000.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't set in 2000, so
no,
like
it was set in
right.
the
So it stays
was
at
it
the time.
I was gonna say 70s, but was it earlier?
It might have been the 60s.
Yeah, I think it might have
don't
been
know
before
exactly
that.
sure.
So yeah, Remember the Titans, a second one in a row from Disney. And actually, if we jump back to the game plan for a second, the game plan was actually the last film distributed by Buena Vista Pictures, which was one of Disney's subsidiaries. Buena Vista did Remember the Titans as well, but both of them have Disney all over it. And I actually have a clip from this one.
Let's go! What was that, Ray? Whatever it is, it ain't blocking. Give me a break. You want a break? I'll give you a break. Me and Julius.
Wait a minute. Just let him
We
in.
get to Rev once, just one time. I swear to God, I'm gonna hit you so hard by the time you come to. Ooh, boy, you're gonna need a new haircut. You understand me? Let's play, fellas.
On the ball. Let's run it again.
Come on, me.
You all right, McPeety?
You all right? You really stuck him, Campbell.
Yeah, I love me a little contact, Petey.
This is left side.
Strong side.
Left side.
Strong side.
Left side.
Strong side.
Left side. Left side.
End cue montage. So that's where the team starts to come together. Again, great movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I need to watch it again because it's so good. Last bit on Remember the Titans.
I thought you were gonna play the part. My favorite part was when they come out on the field chanting.
No,
That's my favorite.
Nah. I mean, I like the song parts. You know, like I said, the big lineman singing. Does he start "Ain't No Mountain High"? Is that the one that he starts? Yeah. So a lot of great stuff from Remember the Titans. When they walk out on the field singing "We Are the Titans," that's when I actually burned that onto a CD in high school. That actual clip, not the actual song, but them actually doing that because it was so much fun. So yeah, like Justin said, 17 years ago. Last thing on the Remember Titans, T.C. Williams High School, former Penn State assistant coach Larry Johnson Sr. was the head coach there before he moved on to coach at Penn State and now Ohio State.
Yes.
All right, Corinne, what's at number 3?
Angels in the outfield.
Mentioned, I believe, by you on your list.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
Justin, we have something in common.
also just missed the cut on my list. I'm not sure if Corinne knows this or you, Justin, but this is actually a remake
I did know that.
from
yes.
1951.
Yeah.
So it was done in 1994 by who else? Disney. They had this way of somehow
did they
coming
own
out
the
with
Angels at the time?
somehow coming out with a movie about the sports franchise.
Yeah.
They did it with the Mighty Ducks, who they created.
Right.
And then with the, at the time, California Angels. And this one had, I mean, nowadays, saying these names, you're thinking, how are they all in the same movie? Right. But, you know, it was 1994. It was over 20 years ago, you know, working towards 25 years ago. Danny Glover, Tony Danza, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the young boy, Christopher Lloyd, the angel, Adrian Brody.
Oscar winner.
Yeah. Jay Sanders, comedian, and Matthew McConaughey.
So this is a perfect example. I heard this a long time ago, and it's like, you know, to go up to like somebody like Adrian Brody who won, like,
The Pianist,
yeah, right. So go up to him who won an Oscar and be like, oh, you know, I love your acting. Like, you were so good in Angels in the Outfield or something like that, you know, where he just plays like a regular baseball player who's not a big role in the movie. But, like, to do that to guys, or you could fill in a bunch on this, like Matthew McConaughey is in this movie. You know, you could do that for a large number of them. Yeah, I really liked Angels in the Outfield. The Little League team I played for was the Angels, and I think that might have had a little bit to do with it. But also, I just liked it was a baseball movie. I really liked it.
So, Kurt, what do you have to say about Angels in the Outfield? Why is it in your top 3?
I don't know. If it's not on TV much, but it was definitely B1. If it's on, I would definitely 100% watch it. I loved it watching it as a kid.
Yeah.
It was just one of those movies that made you feel good.
I feel like this is one of those that was in the big clamshell VHS boxes that Corinne, my cousin Matt, and I used to watch over and over and over again.
You wore out that plastic on the back.
On Friday nights at my grandmother's. I feel like this is the one we put in a lot because it's been now probably, it might be, it's at least 10 years, if not 15 years probably since I've seen it.
It has something for everyone. Like, us girls like it, you guys like it. It has something for everybody.
Well, it is pretty much everyone.
Yeah. If guys and girls like it, you know, there's not too much in between that could dislike it. So, Angel in the Outfield, once again, a Disney movie here in the top 5. I believe it's the, third in a row?
Yeah.
And we're going to keep that going with 4 in a row at number 2. So, Corinne, what is your second most favorite sports movie?
Rookie.
So, The Rookie, starring Dennis Quaid, playing the real-life person Jim Morris. The movie also starred Brian Cox, again, from Disney. I believe it's, a high school baseball teacher, if they won enough games or won a league title or whatever, he promised to try out for the majors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the little boy in this movie is the cutest thing in the whole wide world.
Is that why it's number 2?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is. That's a yes.
No.
I thought you were crushing on Dennis
good
Quaid.
Looking. I mean, like, he's just so adorable. I want him as my child. He's so cute.
So, he obviously, spoiler, he makes it to the big leagues. And doesn't he pitch for the Rays?
Yeah, he does pitch for the Rays.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I guess the Devil Rays at the time.
Yeah, was it? Yeah.
So, anything else about The Rookie?
No, I really like that movie.
Yeah, it's another good feel-good sports movie from Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else from you, Corinne, on your number 2 best or favorite sports movie?
No, I just love the movie. I love when he's at the side of the street and his kid is asleep in the truck and he's trying to see how fast he's pitching and he's using what's this thing on the side of the road that tells you your speed?
Just the radar thing.
Yeah, just like this.
He's using that to determine, and then he thinks it's not a high number, but the light blinks as he drives away, and it's really a good number. That's one of my favorite parts.
All right, before we get to your number 1, we have 2 questions from our viewers. One is from Megan, and she says, Corinne, I'm curious if Soul Surfer or Blue Crush is on your list.
Megan, you must have read my mind, because as we were talking about Replacements, that bigger black guy, I forget his name, but he's in Blue Crush, and I was like, man, I should have put Blue Crush on my list because I think that guy is the funniest guy, and it reminded me as soon as we talked to Replacements that I should have put Blue Crush on my list.
What about Soul Surfer?
I like that one. It probably wouldn't have made my list, but Blue Crush definitely would have made my list.
Dad wants to remind you that the little boy in The Rookie is the boy that goes into a young adult in 2.5 Men.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Also, Corinne from Uncle Rich, he wants to know, so you wouldn't watch A League of Their Own because there's no hot guys in it?
Probably not Uncle Rich.
Do you even know what A League of Their Own is about?
No. But unless there's some hot shirtless man, I probably won't.
Well, Tom Hanks is in it.
I love Tom Hanks, and I'd probably watch it.
He's kind of a jerk in the movie, though.
Yeah, but that makes it even better. Because it's Tom Hanks being an alcoholic jerk.
All of Tom Hanks movies. I can't believe I didn't see. He's my favorite actor by far.
That is a good movie.
Let me tell a story, and Uncle Rich and my dad were there. We played charades in my grandparents' basement with the entire family. And it was, a mixture of adults and kids. And I was pretty young. Like, I'd say around 10, 8 to 12-ish. All the cousins were there. It was like the entire May side of the family hanging out, playing a huge game of charades. And, each team makes up whatever, and then you can do, movies, TV, whatever. So I picked them out of a hat, and I had no idea. No clue what it was.
The adults always would put their old movies, and they wouldn't tell us about what these were.
As we saw with your dad's nominations for the movie bracket challenge.
So it was A League of Their Own. So I go to the team that wrote it down and trying to get hints of how could I possibly act this out. Because I'm up there trying to do stuff, and I have no idea. And I'm just standing there like, I have no idea how to do this. Because I literally have no idea. I've never heard of the movie. Because this is 20 years ago. So they finally tell me to just... make a motion that I have breasts. Because they knew it was a sports movie. I think we got out of that. I think I did baseball.
Right.
So, I did film, or whatever it is. And then I did baseball, but that's where I was stuck. And they had me motion that, and they got it. And I was like, I still have no idea what this movie is, but I'm glad you got it correct.
And now I have more questions than I started with.
Please tell me more. All right, so... All right, Corinne, we're at this point. Your number one movie, sports movie, favorite of all time is?
Blindside.
The Blind Side, mentioned by us earlier on our list, Justin. This one makes the top 10 and is number one on Corinne's favorite sports movies. The Blind Side came out in 2009. Breaking the streak of Disney movies is actually from Alcom, which is a division of Warner Brothers. And it stars Sandra Bullock as Leanne Toohey, Tim McGraw as her husband, Quentin Aaron played Michael Oher, and also an appearance by Kathy Bates. Joining them was actual college football coaches who recruited Michael Oher: Houston Nutt, Ed Orgeron, Nick Saban, Lou Holtz, Tommy Tuberville, Phil Fulmer, and recruiting analyst Tom Lemming. So quite the large amount of people in that movie, both stars and also college people. And, we have a caller here. It is my dad. We're going to bring him in to talk a little bit about, I'm assuming, The Blind Side. What do you have for us, Dad?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Good show. I like your additional person there tonight.
Thanks, Dad.
She's doing a great job. You two guys always do a so-so. Joey, you carry the show, though, because Justin and his attitude about my Cowboys.
I knew we weren't going to make it through the rest of the show without hearing something about that.
I do like the couple that wasn't mentioned, but I know Justin mentioned Invincible. That is a good one, even though it's about an eagle. But Brian's song, if you never saw it, guys, you should watch it.
The original or the remake?
I watched the original. I never saw the remake.
With James Caan.
Right. Very good movie. I guess Uncle Rich or somebody mentioned Pride of the Yankees. That's another one, Justin, you would like. That's
I've heard that one's really good. I haven't seen that, though.
I think from the late 50s, 60s. It's a black and white movie, in fact.
Yeah,
it's really good. But I think it's Gary Cooper is the main actor in that. But it's a very good movie. It's about Lou Gehrig. I don't want to give it all away, but but it's a very good movie.
See,
and the one that you didn't mention at all was For the Love of the Game, and that's I can't think of his name now, from Bodyguard.
No, Kevin Costner.
Yep, Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, now that's not that old of a movie. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I
10
think I
years.
have seen that one.
That's very good.
Yeah,
And
no,
by the
I
way-
think I'm pretty sure I have seen that one. That is a good one.
If you ever want to borrow, I do have The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Yeah,
About
there
the
you go,
golf.
Justin.
If
I
you ever
might
want
have
to
to take
borrow
you
it.
up with on that. Yeah.
It's really a good movie.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a Disney one.
Yep,
It's a
it
Disney
is.
one.
It is another one with Disney has their hooks in. They make. I mean, if you like that type of movie, you're probably gonna like everything they do.
Yeah.
You know? There was one just a few years ago about was it Pictures from India?
Yeah, so $1 Million Arm.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it. So any of those that Disney does, they're always really well if you like that type of sports movie. The only thing I think about when I hear Pride of the Yankees is there's a clip from Friends of they're trying to. It's in like the second season. They're trying to cheer up Phoebe because she's sad, so they tell her to watch some like feel good movies, and she's just like, she says, I thought I was going to watch a movie about Yankee pride. And then, bam, the guy gets Lou Gehrig's disease. And they're like, Phoebe, the guy was Lou Gehrig. Didn't you kind of see it coming? So I haven't seen Pride of the Yankees, but it's definitely on my list of ones
That
to watch.
reminded me of one, though. And now, it's not really so much a movie as a documentary, but I think Billy Crystal did it for HBO, 61 with the asterisks, and about Roger Maris. That was a really good.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That was really good, and it just talked about how, like, that season and how that all played out, and how he got like hate mail and all these letters because he wasn't Babe Ruth, basically.
Yeah,
It's crazy, but yeah, a lot of baseball, especially the older baseball movies, tie into the Yankees really well because there were a lot of stories there. So
absolutely. So anything else, Dad?
I'm trying to think of any other ones that the one I'm thinking of, and I can't think of it, with Fallon or whatever.
Fever Pitch.
Fever
Justin
Pitch.
mentioned that.
I brought that up before the show.
Yeah, Fever Pitch.
That and Babe, the one with John Goodman.
Oh, not the one about the pig.
No, not about the one with the pig. No.
So yeah,
No.
Fever Pitch is interesting because they were filming that movie
They had
during
to
coincidentally
they had to rewrite the ending
during
of the
the
movie.
2004 season, and we all know what happened during the 2004 season for the Red Sox. Yeah,
And
they actually
I
literally
remember
refilmed the end.
I
of the
remember
movie.
watching the World Series because Boston hadn't won. This was going to break the curse, and they win. And I remember thinking, Jimmy Fallon's on the field. Like, what is he doing? Because the movie hadn't come out yet.
Right.
Because they redid the ending of the movie because the Red Sox won. Like, they almost ruined it for the movie, not for everyone involved with the Red Sox.
Right. So, all right. Well, Dad, thanks for calling in and giving us your 2 cents about sports movies. I know we mentioned a lot of the ones that you like, but thanks for letting us know a few of the other ones we missed or didn't talk much about.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So, again, Corinne's top 10, starting at number 10, Varsity Blues, 9, Rudy, followed by Radio at 8, and The Replacements at 7. Little Giants comes in at 6, followed by The Game Plan at 5. 4 is Remember the Titans. 3, Angels in the Outfield. The Rookie comes in at number 2, and taking the top spot, Corinne's most favorite sports movie, The Blind Side. A good choice. Sandra Bullock won for Best Actress.
She's my favorite actress. Besides Tom Hanks being my favorite actor, she is my absolute favorite actress.
And Blind Side was
This
nominated.
might be the movie I like her the most in. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of others, but like
I like her in
really
Blind
like her.
Side. You know another movie, and this one is like my dad side coming out of me right here, is I really enjoy, what's the movie she's in with Ryan Reynolds? You know, the one where they go to Alaska?
Oh, Proposal!
The Proposal.
I love that
I don't know,
movie.
there's just something about that rom-com that
Love that.
I just really like that one.
And I
Yeah.
like Tim McGraw in this movie. I think someone should make a movie with Tim Tebow because that
I'm
would
sure
be
they have.
a movie
a documentary
that I would want to watch.
Tim McGraw is an interesting one when it comes to sports movies because he's obviously a stand-up guy in The Blind Side, but if you've seen Friday Night Lights,
not
he's the exact opposite.
Yeah,
Friday Night
he
Lights.
really is. He is the exact opposite in Friday Night Lights, which is interesting because they're both based on true stories.
Right. Friday Night Lights is
Friday Night Lights too. Now this is completely different. I really like the soundtrack to Friday Night Lights too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a lot of like really popular songs, but just kind of like that undertone music the whole time. Like I really like that.
Cutting Friday Night Lights from my top 10 was tough, and for how much I love that movie, I know it has a book written by a guy who doesn't even want to mention.
I know, and that's why I kind of I hesitated to put it on there. But
yeah, I mean, I'll enjoy the movie, but like
no, I get it. I get it.
The book, I just can't go there. But I've never seen the TV show. It was on for 4 seasons.
Yeah,
I believe.
it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
It has,
it's more. It
Isn't
plays
it
up the
chick
dramatic part a little bit more, but
Friday Night Lights.
I thought the TV show was kind of like
it could be
chick flicky.
Oh,
yeah,
the
it
TV
is.
show. I think you meant the
they
movie.
play up
No,
the
the TV
like.
show.
I watched it at first because like I loved the movie. It does play
It
up
goes
the
into
drama
high
part
school
of it.
drama.
Yeah, it gets into the drama part a lot more, but like
Well-
because it has the football tie-ins, like I would watch it every now and then. I don't know that I saw past the first season.
It was always at risk for getting canceled, and then I think it did, and then it got brought back or renewed late or
Yeah,
something. But I
yeah.
think it was at least 3, if not 4 seasons. Is the guy the coach that Billy Bob Thornton plays in the movie? Is that who Kyle MacLachlan plays on the TV show? Like, is it the same thing?
Yeah.
It's the
still,
same school, right?
Yeah, it's Permian Panthers.
Permian,
they
yep.
might name it different, like I forget, but like it's there. Interesting side note. So the school that is the rival, not the team they play late, but Midland Lee High School. That is where my brother-in-law actually went to high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah.
That's really
That's
cool.
cool.
All right, so those are our top 10 favorite sports movies, and you know, a lot of we got a couple comments coming in. Uncle Rich mentions Trouble with the Curve, which is a movie came out probably in the last 5-6 years. Wasn't Justin Timberlake in that?
I don't know. Like I don't know what that one is. Like it could be. Like I don't know.
61.
I'd
with
be
the
interested
asterisk.
to hear Rich's takes on that because 61 with the asterisk, I really like that.
Barry Peppers played Roger Maris.
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple, a lot of great sports movies out there that just can't mention. So yeah, he says yes, Trouble with the Curve with Justin Timberlake, and was it? I was gonna say Clint Eastwood. Is that?
I don't
I'm trying to think now. I'm getting some of these movies confused in my head as I was looking over the last few days at a whole bunch of who I wanted to include. Now, my dad is saying yes, Clint Eastwood as well. But I think it's relatively recent. Obviously, if Justin Timberlake is in it, it can't be that old of a movie. Let's see. 2012, yeah. Clint Eastwood, Amy Adams, Justin Timberlake, John Goodman. Sports drama. So
I know a movie I didn't think of.
What's that?
Speaking of Justin Timberlake, Jessica Biel's in it, and so is
I
Freddie
know what you're
Prinze
gonna
Jr.
say.
What is that movie called?
Oh, I
Dad,
thought
you watched it with me a lot.
Oh, it's
He's
it's
a base
Summer
Summer
Catch.
Catch.
Yeah, that's it.
That
I like
should've
that
made my
movie.
list.
I like that movie
You
too.
like that movie?
Yeah,
I've seen
well,
that.
it's baseball.
It
That's
has
like
Jessica Biel.
That's like a big chick flick there.
That too.
So, but I think that pretty much is it. Unless we get any more comments from anyone, we're gonna wrap things up here. Okay. So, well, thanks, Corinne, for joining us.
Thank you.
I did enjoy this discussion more than last year.
I'll probably win next year, so we
Well,
can
actually, Justin came up with the idea that you can't win in back-to-back years.
Yeah,
So,
it's going to be like a real radio contest now. So, like, they were just going to set, like, a period of 400 days. You can't win a contest.
That is so mean.
So that just guarantees you can't win next year. But then he said, we're just going to jinx ourselves and you're going to win 2 years
How
from
about-
now.
Right.
So.
When I said it to him, I said, what I've just done is ensure that she wins it in 2 years.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
How about next year, instead of having your basketball expert, Adam Filer, because he hasn't won, right? Or he hasn't even been close.
Never won. He might have finished top 5, but he's never won.
How about you have the person that won twice come on and tell you?
Yeah, because then we'd have to have you on again. But we do get good interaction when Corinne's on.
We do.
Exactly.
It happens. It's funny. We have Corinne come on, and we got a good amount of. We have our dads come on. We get a good amount of watchers. What, is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, but we just run that. Well, yeah. I'll add more after the show.
Oh, okay. I got you. Oh, you know what? Before we go, I had the clip from The Blind Side. I didn't play. Number 1, of course, I had something here. So before we leave, here's a clip from The Blind Side.
Michael, do you remember when we first met and we went to that horrible part of town to buy you those dreadful clothes? And I was a little bit scared and you told me not to worry about it because you had my back. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
And if anyone tried to get to me, you would have stopped them, right? And when you and SJ were in that car wreck, what did you do to the airbag?
Stopped it?
You stopped it. You stopped it. This team is your family, Michael. You have to protect them from those guys, okay? Listen. Okay. Tony here's your quarterback, all right? You protect his blind side. When you look at him, you think of me, how you have my back, how you have his, okay? All right, Tony, go back. All right. Oompa Loompa here is your tailback. When you look at him, you think of SJ and how you've never let anyone or anything hurt him. You understand me? All right. Go back. Got it?
What about Collins and Mr. Tui?
Fine. They can be on the team, too. Are you going to protect the family, Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
Good boy. And go have some fun.
All right.
One of the great things I love about this movie is the great positive message about adoption, which is obviously close to my heart right now. So that's definitely why it's number 1, too.
Yeah, Michael Owers had quite the journey, and it continues so in the NFL. But what a great movie Blindside is. It's really, really one of the best, not just sports movies, but movies in general, as the Academy really, really fell in love with it when it came out in 2009.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right. So, anything else, Corinne, to add,
Nope.
movies or otherwise?
No.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'll see you next year.
Consider our debt paid once again. Don't say we didn't come through. All right, so for Justin and me here, wrapping up on the next episode 234, which I think will be in 2 weeks again, Sunday, June 4th. We're going to be going over a viral social post that is making the rounds on Facebook, all about favorite athletes, your favorite athletes from a variety of sports and athletics. We're going to answer that ourselves, and we implore you all to answer it as well. We posted it on the Facebook page. We've already got a couple responses, but please go to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show on Facebook, check out the post, and leave us your answers there, and we'll read them on the show in 2 weeks.
So these the hottest athletes or just athletes?
I'm already so glad that I muted her mic.
Oh,
Anything else from you, Justin?
No, that's it.
All right, check out more from us on jmnjrradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at jmnjr_radio, at Joe Mays and J-Raff, at jmflyer1454, and at Mr_Raffoff. Birthday shout-outs we missed in the last 2 weeks. I know he watched the show in the past. One of my former players, and one of your former players, Mr. Matt Ginter.
Yeah.
As well as Corinne and my cousin, Nick Johnson, celebrating last week. Any shout-outs from you, Justin?
My sister's anniversary is this week. So
Yep. Happy anniversary to Andrea and Garrett.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for joining us. This wraps up episode 233 of the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show.
we hope you tune in every Sunday for our take on sports. Until next time, I'm J-Raff.
And I'm Joe Mays. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. Tune in every Sunday for the latest sports discussions from Joe and Justin. Each episode is available live
On Facebook Live.
and can be downloaded or streamed on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can interact with Joe and Justin on Facebook and Twitter, and stay up to date with the guys at joemaysandjraff.com. The Joe Mays and J-Raff Show is part of the JMNJR Radio Network. For more info, visit jmnjrradio.com.